is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, it does not matter who the host is. It does not. It truly doesn't. Anyways, how are you returning to this lovely, that day of the week that everybody looks forward to, that says it's the greatest day that they can look forward to, all that kind of fun stuff, all the stuff that they enjoy doing. Anyways, today's Monday, August the 23rd of 2021, day 235 of the year. Yes, day 235 and only 130 days left to go. Anyways, hopefully everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods as things are going around and about. So there you go. A lot of fun stuff going on over the weekend. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and broadcasting across the multiverse of Safety FM. And then, of course, we are also hanging out with our friends and our colleagues at that other joint, that does stuff over there. Radio. So we are hanging out with our pals at Radio Big. So anyways, let's start talking about the things that are trending or that were trending from over the weekend. So hashtag My President was trending over the weekend as Twitter users tried to find a way to brag about Joe Biden. Many tweets. 20 tweets were such as slam at former President Donald Trump. A few tweets were aimed at aimed at Biden, calling him out for his utter failure as a leader for the country. So kind of, I guess, some mixed reviews there. Another one was hashtag Get Vax Right Now, landed on Twitter and the top 10 trends on Saturday as users added the hashtags to tweets about why people need to get the jab, with many supporting vaccine mandates. Another hashtag that was making the sequence was We Love New York Concerts. Was trending on Saturday as the concerts that were planned as we survived the pandemic, celebrating the event with a huge crowd of maskless attendees. Hurricane Henry was downgraded to a tropical storm, so I'm not sure how that ties into the concert, but had other plans forced the concert to shut down early. Very few of Twitter questions the fact that the event was still held when the Delta was surging. Another hashtag that was hitting over the weekend was SummerSlam was trending over the weekend as wrestling fans welcome back different people, including Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, and on Friday, CM Punk. Hashtag Life of the Party was trending on Sunday as the hashtag was used to promote Vibes of Republic's new single, Life of the Party. So there you go. That was all the trends that were occurring over the weekend, hashtag wise. So hopefully you had some fun with some of those. Anyway, so there you go. If you're kind of new to what we do here, let me kind of explain the sequence of events. We bring in some professional broadcasters. They talk about what's going on inside of the world. I jump in, talk a little bit, do those things, and then go from there, give you my opinion of the things that are going on. So I think that it's time for us to get started with our friends at some feature story of the news, because they always have some important things to say. So let's get that moving and grooving coming up your direction.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Future Story News in London, I'm Chris Jones. German officials say an Afghan soldier has been killed in a gun battle at Kabul airport. The fight included US and German soldiers who say they were attacked by an unknown enemy. Trent Murray has more.
The German military said an unknown gunman opened fire near the north gate of Kabul airport. Both German and US soldiers were then involved in a subsequent firefight, which left one Afghan National Security Force soldier killed. The German Air Force has evacuated over 2,700 people, with the group made up of 38 different nationalities. They say they will continue to fly in and out of Kabul for as long as it's safe to do so, with 2 helicopters recently sent from Germany to allow special forces to go and collect evacuees from outside the airport perimeter.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to use a meeting of G7 leaders to press US President Joe Biden to leave troops in Afghanistan beyond August 31st in order to secure further evacuations from the country. Laura Macon-Isherwood reports.
There are still thousands of people in Afghanistan that allied nations want to evacuate, but there are fears that security at the airport in Kabul from where flights are departing could be compromised without support from US soldiers. With thousands of people still awaiting rescue, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to urge US President Joe Biden to commit to keeping troops in Afghanistan beyond the current August 31st deadline for withdrawal, something President Biden has already signalled he does not want to do.
India has reported its lowest daily rise in COVID-19 infections in 160 days. The country's health ministry said there were 25,072 new cases in the past 24 hours, while 389 deaths were recorded. This comes after India went through a massive, deadly second wave of infections earlier this year. And the United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, says young people living in the Democratic Republic of Congo are among the most at risk of the impacts of climate change. Chris Ochimarenga reports from Kinshasa.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is rich in natural resources, but suffers from armed conflicts, river pollution, and deforestation. Environmentalists say the destruction of forests by fire contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, which is dangerous to the development and health of children. A study by UNICEF indicates that the climate and environmental changes in the DRC are threatening the health and education of Congolese children. The DRC has one of the 10 highest deforestation rates in the world after Brazil. UNICEF is calling on the Congolese government and the international community to protect children and the most vulnerable from the worst impacts of climate change. Chris Ochamringa, Kinshasa.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, taking a look today at the impact of the Afghan crisis on the so-called special relationship between the US and the UK. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will on Tuesday chair a virtual G7 leaders summit that he called in the aftermath of the disaster unfolding in Afghanistan. Over the weekend, number 10 Downing Street denied reports that the Prime Minister had told aides he would prefer to have Donald Trump back in the White House.
One of the things I don't know, and I would like to find out, is what did we know and when did we know it? And at the moment, we don't actually have an answer.
Sir Christopher Mayer is a former British ambassador to Washington. He doesn't much care for the phrase special relationship, thinks it will be repaired, but that it won't be easy.
I imagine that our ambassador in Washington, who is an extremely smart operator, that she would have been able to find out through her big staff the way in which things were moving. Repairing the relationship personally between Boris Johnson and Joe Biden, I think, is going to be difficult. And there will have to be a lot of hard work done by people lower down the food chain on both sides to keep this on a reasonably even keel. But right now, it's sailing through the choppiest of waters.
He says Britain and the US have a moral obligation to assist those Afghans who have seen appreciable benefits in their lives arising from the international presence in the country. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap our top stories, German officials say an Afghan soldier has been killed in a gun battle at Kabul airport. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to press US President Joe Biden to leave troops in Afghanistan beyond August 31st. India has reported its lowest daily rise in COVID-19 infections in 160 days. And UNICEF says young people living in the Democratic Republic of Congo are among the most at risk of the impacts of climate change. That's the latest feature story news. Chris Jones reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
You know how sometimes you're out and about and sometimes you have to access a report, maybe your bank account, maybe something that's important to you, but you don't want other people to be able to access it? I know you're probably sitting there for a moment going, well, why don't you just go into incognito mode and use that instead? Well, let me tell you something real quick. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browser's history. Your internet service provider can still see every single website you visited. And that's why even when I'm at home, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. It doesn't matter who your internet provider is. It can be Verizon, Comcast, or even AT&T. The ISP in the U.S. can legally sell your information to ad companies. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites that you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the times, I don't even realize I have ExpressVPN on. It runs seamlessly in the background and is so easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button and you're protected. ExpressVPN is available on all of your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV. So there's no excuse for you not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET and Wired. Visit my exclusive link at expressvpn.com/safety and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/safety. expressvpn.com/safety to learn more.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, it's always about the magic around here for sure. Anyways, it is 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. Lovely, lovely Monday. You know, it's always mesmerizing to me when you come off the weekend. This was, I don't know, this weekend seemed, number one, long, and number two, like there was a lot of stuff going on. And I think that's a good thing. At least that was a good thing for me. It was event after event after event, and I was loving it, and that's for sure. So let's get busy talking about some stuff. That might be important to you. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking, Squabbery Requitter. Matter of fact, maybe I should start talking about this. So Thursday, I was able to have a conversation Because that's something that I like to do. So I was able to have a conversation with people telling me that I focus too much on the people that are chatting inside of the box. And that my radio station or the radio station itself sounds more when I start doing that, like I'm doing a Twitch stream, which, I mean, to an extent, let's be real here, I am doing a Twitch stream and I'm doing a social media stream. So should I not focus so much on the box is what you're saying? Meaning the messenger box, or what do you want? I never know what to do. The other thing that I was told during that conversation is that I shouldn't do so many news stories. That that we should talk more about one story, and that I should actually one story at a time and really go into depth into it. What do you got here? I love you here are some hearts to show you some love. Oh, that's very nice. But that's the thing. So I don't know. Should I focus on like one story? And go deeper. I don't know. I never know. I mean, you have to tell me. I mean, we've already spoken about this several hundreds of times before on how this thing actually works. So no need to go into it again today. Okay. So anyways, let's start talking. An Afghan woman delivered a baby girl aboard of the U.S. evacuation flight. The woman went into labor while the C-17 transport aircraft on Saturday as she fled the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, according to the U.S. Air Mobility Command. The flight landed in Ramstein base in Germany, where people from the force of the 86 medical group boarded the plane to help her deliver the baby. Mommy and baby. Listen to me. Mommy and baby. Because that's the thing. Mommy and baby. Let's see. Mom and baby were transported to the nearby medical facility where they were both listed in good condition, the Air Force said. So there you go. So good, bad, and indifferent. So when you're born in a flight, exactly where are you considered that you're from? I mean, I always have wondered that. Morbidly curious. What's your current favorite song? What's your favorite song currently? Let's see. Current favorite song. I don't know. I think NDA is pretty good, but probably no. It has to be a Billie Eilish song for sure. It's Happier Than Ever. Yep, that has to be current song. It has to be between something like that and something from Dua Lipa. Probably one or the other. I know not normally the heavier stuff that I listen to, but just saying. Okay, so let's continue talking. The U.S. Naval Academy has expelled 18 midshipmen for cheating on their physics final exam. The expulsion came across after an investigation involving more than 100 midshipmen who had been identified as having likely accessed the unauthorized resource during the online exam last year. 82 midshipmen were retained despite being found to have violated the honor concept, according to the Academy. The sanctions were handed down. At least 653 took the final exam. So there you go. Makes it a little bit more interesting. And exactly how did you not think that you get caught for doing something along those lines? So that's something to think about. Anyways, let's continue talking. China will now allow couples to legally have a third child. The decision was made in hopes that the additional child per family would hold up demographic crisis that threatened the country's prosperity and global influence. The Population and Family Planning Law has amended Friday 6 years after the families were allowed to have 2 children. Prior to that, China strictly limited most couples to have 1 child, which threats of fines or even loss of job if you had more than one. I don't know. I mean, what are you thinking here? I mean, I know you probably should not have any kind of restriction in regards to the amount of children that you should have, but what are you thinking here? If you're a parent, how many children would you like? And you can't send any of them back, so don't put that in your head.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so here you go. So here's going to be the interesting thing that goes today. The FDA is expected to grant full, did you hear me? Full FULL approval of the Pfizer COVID vaccine. The New York Times reports that the approval had originally been targeted for Labor Day, but was expedited due to recent surge of the Delta variant. Full approval for Moderna vaccine could be weeks away as the FDA continues to review its application, according to the Post. So, okay, we're going to get into some muddy waters here as we're talking about this. So let's get ready about doing this. So what do you think is going to happen now? Because remember, we're seeing a lot of conversations of people saying, okay, I am not getting anything that, I'm not putting anything in my body that is not approved by the FDA. We're not talking about tattoos, tattoo ink, but we're talking about people saying that they're not going to put anything in their body that is not approved by the FDA. So if this does come down today, that the Pfizer vaccine has 100, or that has been granted full approval by the FDA, where does the conversation go? How does the things change going forward? Because that's the thing that I always wonder about. Like, people always want to talk about this stuff, and I don't know. I mean, and this is where we go back to, you have to make a decision that's best for you and all that kind of fun stuff. But what do you think now? Because now that there will be, if they do grant this today as being discussed already, what ends up taking place? Where does the conversation go from there? Does it become something that companies, organizations, and government entities will actually tell you that you have to have going forward? I know, getting into some muddy waters here, and things have to move for the waters to unmuddy. But then what's going to happen here over the next few weeks? That's going to be the weird conversation. I don't know. I think that we can go a lot of places when we talk about this, when we start talking about it. So there you go. Some things to think about for sure as we are talking on this lovely Monday.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, the only girls competing in the 2021 Little Leagues World Series made history over the weekend. What? The only girl compete? Okay. What? The only girl competing in the 20? Okay. The 12-year-old Aja Burning, who is playing in her Abilene, Texas team, became the third girl to record multiple hits in a single Little League World Series game and the 7th to record a single hit. She is the 20th girl to participate in the event. So there you go. Some things going on inside of the world. So there you go. I just cackled at that. What did you cackle at? About what people are going to think about the whole thing going on? I mean, it's a legitimate question. Anyways, Afghan translator and U.S. allied individuals who remain trapped in Afghanistan are being hunted by the Taliban, according to multiple outlets. People are living in terror. One inside of the Fox News, according to an insider at Fox News, those who have been able to make it to the gates of the airport have found them close and unguarded. Many left behind, considering the command post of the German and Australian forces and asking them to help because they have no faith in the U.S. government that will be able to get them out of the country. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I'm sure that we could cover this for time on end, but I would be speaking out of school. I mean, I know some things that are going on, but the rest is, third party information. I mean, I guess the kind of almost all news is third party. I would have to take a deeper dive, so I don't want to say the wrong thing here.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
So for those listeners that are around here that are taking a listen from Mississippi, do you know about this going on? If not, let's share it. Mississippians who test positive for coronavirus must, M-U-S-T, isolate for at least 10 days, or face 5 years in prison and a fine up to $5,000, according to a new alert issued by the State Department of Health. The isolation orders comes amid surging cases in the state. The 7-day average hit 4,316 on Friday. Mississippi has one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country, with 36.8% of the eligible population fully vaccinated, according to the CDC. So there's some stuff. Really to consider there. So think about that for a moment. If you are told that you have the COVID and that you must isolate and you don't do it, all of a sudden, because of not being there for 10 days in isolation, you can get almost 5 years inside of the pokey which I don't know if that's that's not a cool thing. And it's not either 5 years or $5,000 fine. It says 5 years and up to a $5,000 fine. So what do you think here? Do you think that now with us talking about what the potential might be that could occur today, more and more places will start enforcing some guidelines in that particular factor? Yeah, tongue out over there to you too, Vivisconi. As we're talking. But I mean, some things to think about. That's going to be something that we're going to talk about. Anyways, over 121 children tested positive for COVID-19 last week. The new cases bring a total number of involving children since the start of the pandemic to over 4.4 in the U.S., according to the American Academy of Pediatrics. I can't even speak. Worth noting, despite the increase in cases, the AAPAP notices that the severe illness from viruses remain uncommon in children. It says 0.0 to 0.03. All the pediatric cases have resulted in death. Those who cannot or choose to not get vaccinated must show proof of testing to adjust to every single days of the things that they're doing. Could this be the causing of the increase of positive cases? How many of these pediatric cases are symptomless would be the other question. Also, hospitalizations in Hawaii are up by 854% in 2 months and have exceeded any of the numbers of the peaks that had been occurring there. Hawaii is obviously the most isolated state. It has one of the biggest vaccination rates in the country, and it still has an indoor mask mandate. So much so that is why such a drastic spike in such amount of cases in such a short period of time is something to think about. So there you go. Okay, I'm going to reply to this real quick that just popped up. Boy and toy Playboy. I remember watching you yesterday. The answer is probably no. If you did watch me yesterday, you either watched me on a replay, which is possible, and then the other thing is that we host a whole bunch of other stuff on our Twitch platform. So that could have been possibly one of those. But thanks for coming out again if you did hang out yesterday. Let's continue talking. When it comes to masks, the N95S and the KN95S are the only ones that do okay job from warding off COVID-19, according to a new study. Commonly worn surgical masks and cloth mask coverings only filter about 10% of exhaled aerosols, while the KN95 and the N95 masks filter about 90% and 46% of exhaled particles. So there you go. The study published in the Journal of Physics of Fluids. Wow, that's a name for sure. Was conducted in large of an indoor unventilated room. Worth noting that 10% of protection cloth face masks offer in decrease substantially said that the masks are worn incorrectly. How many people don't even know that they're not wearing a mask correctly is something to be considered as well. So before I get too far into all other things, let me bring Johnny Smalls in here real quick and let him talk about what happened inside of the market beat over on Friday, because we didn't talk about it on Friday, because it would be impossible to talk about what happened on Friday. Number one, because I wasn't here on Friday, and Friday was after we were done with the show anyways, so it would have never happened. So take a listen to this.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, August 23rd, 2021. Equity markets bounced back strongly Friday after a turbulent week. The rising threat of inflation was offset, however, by the rising promise of earnings in the third and fourth quarters of the year. Not only did the second quarter earnings cycle produce much stronger than expected growth, but the consensus figures for the back half of the year continue to rise on strength in the retail sector. If this trend continues, the S&P 500 should continue to set new all-time highs. The hurdle for the market this week is the PCE Price Index on Friday. The index is expected to show a rise in consumer-level inflation, but at a slower pace than the previous month. If the data exceeds expectations like the recently released Producer Price Index, the market could be in for a little more turbulence before the next new highs are set. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Why would you not be responsible for what I'm saying? I never get it. So anyways, that's what was going on inside of the market. Thank you, John, for that one, because it's always important, whatever the hell you have going on for sure. Anyways, let's continue. Let's continue talking about everything else that is going on inside of the world. Tropical storm Henry slammed into New York area on Sunday afternoon, bringing the storm strong wind gusts and heavy rain before hitting the Rhode Island eastern coast. Gusts were high as 70%, just short of hurricane status. Power outages and toppled trees. I almost said topless trees, which that would have been something entirely different. And toppled trees, flooding and damages to buildings were all expected, according to the AccuWeather meteorologist. Residents were advised to stay indoors and hunker down while the storm was passing. So something to go on with there as we are talking. En esta mañana, por fin, por todo. So anyways, let's continue talking about some other things as we are 31 minutes past the top of the hour, hanging out on the Rated R Safety Show.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So I have to tell you, and I know that we have spoken about this before, and we have spoken about it, and I never understand it, and I come into this and I go, why does this happen every week? You know, I don't get it, and I know that this is a terrible thing to say, but it's the truth. I just don't get it. Why is it that people tend to have these small freakouts about the things that happen according to the day of the week? So, you know, we can start off wherever you want. It's like, let's go Sunday through Saturday, where you get that whole thing of, oh, it's Sunday, I can't believe I have to go work tomorrow. It's, oh my God, it's Monday, and I can't believe we have to go back to work. It's Tuesday, we only have this many more days before we get to Friday. It's Wednesday, it's hump day, people. It's Thursday, it's Friday Junior. It's Friday. Oh my God. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, it's Saturday. I'm so glad I'm able to relax. It's like, hold on. Why do people get so manic when it comes to Monday? Why do people get so panicky about it being Monday again? It's one of those things that I take a look at, and I start thinking about this all the time. If things are so bad at what you do for work or where you're working, maybe it's time to change what the hell you're doing. It cannot make you that miserable that you have to go back to work on a Monday. And I look at it and I go like this. So let me kind of make sure that I have this clear for it real quick. If you have $1 million opportunity, and I'm just throwing, you know, for some people that might be high, for some people that might be extremely low. I know $1 million opportunity, I see it as a lot of dough. And it's that opportunity is occurring on a Monday. Are you not going to be excited that it's Monday? I mean, I'm just asking the question because it becomes a very strange thing. It becomes one of those things as, how would your approach be? I always look at it as that if you let that fluidity of things going and how you would actually take a look at stuff, how do you know that Monday can't be the best day of the week? Regardless of you being off the day before, if you were off on Sunday. So what about the people that work over the weekend? Do you think they're super excited about a Monday? I don't know. I mean, I get very confused about this. I get very confused on why people put so much pressure on a day of the week because things are going to be better. Like, I have people that I know that only go, okay, boom, I'm going to go into Friday. Thank God it's Friday, and they're super excited. And I understand you should be excited about things in life. Duh. But at what point do you put that much pressure on yourself because of the day of the week? At what point do you change your mindset and go, yeah, I have to look at the availability of things that are there? Because I remember when I used to travel for work, you know, we don't do that now because we do a lot of virtual stuff. But when I used to travel for work, my big traveling days were normally Mondays. And I didn't have a hard time looking forward to Mondays. I just knew I was going to be stuck in a plane for a period of time. But I never looked at it and go, oh, it's terrible. It's terrible that I have to go back to work. I think that if we kind of change some of our perspectives on how we take a look at stuff, it might change on the things that are going on around us. And that's the thing. Because I think that when we kind of look at it, oh, it's just another Manic Monday. Yeah, that's a song. We kind of miss some of the opportunities that are out there. And I look at it from a standpoint, too. I think that some of the most interesting conversations that I've had with people inside of the workplace have been on Mondays after they've given thoughts to what occurred from the week previous, that they thought about it over the weekend, and will come in on a Monday and have a conversation about things that they thought about that might need to change inside of the organization. Hey, I'm not saying that it's the best day of the week, but I'm also saying there's some things that we have to think about of looking at things differently, opposed to it just being, oh, it's just another freaking day and I'm stuck here like Chuck. Nothing against Chuck, by the way. I'm just saying Chuck. But think about that for a moment. If you change the way that you look at Monday, what if you looked at Fridays, or for the people that are super excited about Fridays, and look at Mondays the same way? Because you have the opportunity of doing something new. What if you took those opportunities and made them into the things that you want to occur? Wouldn't that be a totally different perspective? But then again, what do I know? I'm just a guy behind a microphone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
Okay, so there you go. You're out. The Devil Sway. This is actually by the Devil Sway. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes, in case you're wondering. Does anyone know how to make the Franker Z command that shows the dog face on Twitch? You're definitely asking the wrong guy, but I'm sure that I can put that out there into the intro waves of things and see what happens. Okay, so there you go. That song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. That's called You're Out. So there you go. There you go. Anyways, it is 41 minutes past the top of the hour, so let it get it moving and grooving and all that kind of fun stuff, because that's what we should do here. So before I get too far, because I've been terrible about it over the last few days, especially the last few shows, let's get into the Motivation Minute with John Smalls and see what he has to say to get us motivated, because that's important.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Mike. Steve Harvey said, "Someone else's opinion of you is none of your business." I love this quote. I actually saw this on Facebook last week, and I asked Mike for permission to share it, because this is the perfect way to sum up this thought. Steve Harvey has such a great sense of humor, but he's also a pretty darn smart guy. There are times when we find out what somebody else thinks about us, and that can make us attempt to change who we are. Don't do that. Be yourself. If the haters don't like it, that just means you are probably doing better than they are. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one. Ow, that one had a little sting to it, at least it felt, in regards of when he was saying that. I mean, think about it for a moment. How often do we go around in life and, care about what others have to say in regards of how you are and all that kind of fun stuff? I'm just saying. I am just saying, you have to really think about those things, opposed to just going, okay, I'm going with the flow. I'm going with whatever the hell other people think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's important to an extent if you let it be important, and I guess it depends. But for me, I try to always kind of go down the path of I'll say of most resistant to an extent, because I just want to be my own person. I don't want to go with the flow. I don't want to go with what has to be the trend or anything along those lines. Whatever. You be you, I'll be me, and we kind of all go from there. What other people think about you is none of your biz. Let them think what they want. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But that's the fun part about this, is you always have to think about it in that fashion. And that's where I've had conversations with others where they have a hard time with it. Because if you can't accept the bad things, you can't also accept the good things that people say. So take it with a grain of salt. Maybe that's the way I should say it.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so some things going on real quick. Let me tell you the latest intel on artificial intel. Elon Musk says that Tesla is building a humanoid robot that will be able to handle boring, repetitive, and dangerous work in places of human. At Tesla AI Day on Thursday, he said the company will probably have a prototype by next year. So let's see if we go in Elon Musk terms. We're talking about 3 to 4 years probably. Musk described the robot as an extension of Tesla's work and built self-driving vehicles. The robot will use the same computer chip and navigate with 8 cameras as the same as the Tesla vehicles. It will stand at 5'8" or 173 inches, weigh about 125 pounds, and be able to carry 45 pounds and move as fast as 5 miles per hour, and will be able to follow a simple command such as, please pick up the bolt and attach it to a car with a wrench. Please go to the store and get the following groceries. He didn't specify how much the humanoid will cost, but one could only imagine. So, and if you went grocery shopping near the start of the pandemic, you'll agree with me that it was definitely boring, repetitive, and dangerous work. So I guess that would be something for sure to think about. And then I was just waiting for that part where you took the face to reveal the computer screen and announce that he's production model number 1. You know, you'll get the reference if you watch movies. One would hope. For sure.
Duh.
Okay, so let's continue talking. I got some bad news for some people out there, so take it easy if you haven't heard this already. So let me share with you. Deep breath first. So let me share the news. Lonely fans. Yes, for the lonely fans that are out there, OnlyFans has announced late last week that it is planning to block all sexually explicit content from its platform starting in October. The huge pivot, a photo and video sharing site amid reports of struggling to attract investors. The UK-based content subscription service said that in a statement that it plans to start blocking users from posting any sexually explicit content, which was the foundation of the rapid growth. Users will still be able to post nude photos and videos as long as they adhere to the company policy. The company described the change as a way to ensure that the long-term sustainability of the platform. OnlyFans said that it will be sharing more details in the coming days about the new model and will actively support the guide to help creators. So that's fine with me. I just go there for recipes. Hi, honey. How are you? Sorry. I just was doing research on a new startups to invest to, so I guess that one will be definitely out of the equation. And I put a lot of money into OnlyFans subscriptions. Those poor girls can't afford clothes. Okay, terrible thing to say.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, 47 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out real quick. Bad dog. Let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about all these other things as we go forward here and talk about all kinds of equations. Every hot dog you have eaten shortens your life by 36 minutes, according to a new study. The findings comes from experts at the University of Michigan who created a standardized way of asserting the carbon footprint and nutritional impact in almost 6,000 foods. The figure of 61 grams of processed meat in a hot dog results in 27 minutes of life loss due to processed meat alone. And in other risk factors, the sodium and trans fatty acids counterbalance the benefits of the fat that in fiber that's actually inside of the thing. And they arrived at a 36 minutes loss per life. The good news is that we can add our life expectancy by eating healthy foods, a portion of nuts in almost 26 minutes, while peanut butter and jam gives you the person more than half of an hour extra life. So hold on. So I can have life extension by actually giving myself peanut butter or nuts. But on the other hand, if I give somebody a hot dog or eat a hot dog, I get 36 minutes less. So 36 minutes per hot dog, my calculation is that Joey Chestnut should be dead in about 1984. And then on the other hand, when I'm eating a hot dog, I can't smoke, so I figure that I'm coming out about even when it's all said and done. And so is this a bad time to bring up the fact that I had a potato chip, nacho cheese to my hot dog? I mean, I'm just asking the question there. So let's think about that real quick. So these people that are professional, like, eaters that do the hot dog challenge type of thing. And I mean, it's just interesting because a hot dog will kill you, but the nuts will save you. What a thing to think about.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show. This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's get into some more stuff. It is 50 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. So let's talk about some things real quick. Do we want to talk about the swamp? Let's talk about the swamp. The events of the last 10 days have torpedoed President Joe Biden's poll numbers. A new Rasmussen poll shows that 39% say that he's doing the job of the president. More than 50% say that others are making decisions for him. Last month, the same poll said that it was 47-47. At the real clear political average, Biden is underwater for the first time just 7 months into his presidency. As of Friday, 47.8 approved, while while 48.6 disapprove of his job performance. So there you go. It's worth noting that it's amazing what happens when you support. Hold on. Oh, this is some stupid ass comment that I hate. I appreciate the guys that help me out around here, but sometimes when you slide something like this, maybe you should put like a highlighted red bullshit for I can see it better, opposed to you just putting some stupid ass comment that you want me to read. I know I just almost did the Ron Burgundy there because that's what I do. But come on, I don't need the extra stuff.
Duh.
Okay, remember last week when the AP published a story while the sensationalized headline, DeSantis top donor invest in COVID drug governor promotes. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' press secretary aggressively pushed back on the reporting on Twitter, taking both to Twitter and to his editor's desk to task. For his press secretary was suspended from Twitter for 12 hours over the weekend. The AP published a letter calling DeSantis to eliminate his attack strategy, by which they apparently mean calling them out for the information that they had been reporting. So there you go. Just some couple of weird things always going on inside of this lovely state. Anyways, no winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for $270 million jackpot or $196.7 million cash payout. Powerball has added a third weekly drawing, giving players an extra chance to win. The new drawing will be held on Monday nights. Oh, look at that. Another reason to look forward to Monday. In addition to Wednesday and Saturday night drawing, Powerball was held. The first Monday night drawing will take place tonight. The Powerball site has been down as it gets ramped up for the new drawing. At the time of the reporting, it has remained unclear what's tonight's jackpot will be. So does that mean you'll have a better chance to win if you don't know what the jackpot is? I mean, I'm just saying real quick. Anyways, let's talk about what occurred on the box office. Let's talk about the top 5 movies. Respect made $3.8 million, down from 4. Don't Breathe Part 2 made $5 million. Jungle Cruise made $6.2 million and stayed at number 3. Number 2 was Paw Patrol, the movie, with $13 million. That's a new movie. It's a little cartoon movie. Yeah, I'll tell you, I actually had the privilege of actually going to see that in person with nobody in the theater. And then at the number 1 spot was Free Guy at $18.7 million, and that stayed at number 1. That is the newest Ryan Reynolds flick. Just in case if you have not seen it, I would probably recommend strongly going to see it because it is Ryan Reynolds. Anyways, let's talk about some events that occurred back on this date. So back in, 2007, the hashtag is created. The new trend is the first time used in a tweet by the U.S. product designer Chris Messina. He tweeted, "How do you feel about using pound for groups?" And then as in bar camp message, pound. So there you go. So that happened back in 2007. You wouldn't think that it was that long ago, but yeah, we're talking about 14 years. So let's talk about some birthdays for today. Will Toledo turns 29. Seth Curry turns 31. Jeremy Lin, 33. Skylar Gordy turns 35. Marty York, 41. Julian Casablancas turns 43. Scott Can turns 45. Rick Springfield turns, Rick Springfield turns 72. I would have never guessed that. And Barbara Eden turned 90. Yeah, and over the weekend, because, we couldn't talk about it because we weren't here, yesterday, Dua Lipa turned, 26? So there you go. Definitely some birthdays taking place all the time, as we always are talking around here.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so if we need to talk about some reasons to celebrate for today, I got some for you. The National Ride the Wind Day, National Sponge Cake Day, and National Cuban Sandwich Day. So there you go. If you're looking for some reasons to celebrate, I just gave them to you. Anyways, let's talk about real quick about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities who have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741, or you can go to their website at afsp.org. That's afsp.org to find out more information. Remember, we all go through struggles from time to time. Just because you might not need it now, it might be a good time to go there just to find out information for somebody that you might be able to assist later down the road. You never know when this might actually come to a portion that you might actually need. Just think about that as we are talking this morning here on the Rated R Safety Show. Anyways, let me give you some whack facts this morning because they're always important. There are 12 times more trees on Earth than there are in the Milky Way. Okay. Rainbows are actually circular. We don't typically see the full circle rainbow because the Earth's horizon blocks the lower part. Wind doesn't make sound until it blows against an object. Gold never erodes. Elephants are the only mammal that can't jump. Cows kill more people than sharks. Did you know that? Cows kill more people than sharks. Cows. Yeah. Did you hear me there? Cows kill more people than sharks. Okay, so let me tell you about Did You Know? Girl Scouts has announced that it will be selling new cookie flavors that taste like brownies. The scouting organization, famous for its sales of coconut and caramel combo of Samoas and chocolate-covered mints, has just announced the adventureful chocolate cookie filled with dollop, a caramel-flavored cream, and a hint of sea salt and topped with chocolatey drizzle will debut in January. Ironic it took that long considering that their entire rank known as brownies, that it would take that long to come up with a cookie that tastes like a brownie. I mean, brownie isn't inside of your name. It should be a default to. I mean, it's like when you think about Chili's, the restaurant. Do you go Chili's? I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about some things real quick. Britney Spears is under investigation for striking one of her employees. It's too bad that the police had to get involved. I mean, it was her biggest hit in years. Experts say that eating avocados daily improves the ability to concentrate. In related news, eating an avocado daily improves one's ability to concentrate. Fluoride is in drinking water may trigger depression and gaining weight, says reports, which is why I dilute mine with vodka. I don't know if this water might actually have some in there, you know. Anyway, something to think about right there. Fact, your typical free weights in the gym can harbor up to 360 times more germs than a public toilet seat. Think about that real quick. So yes, you better know. So you don't normally get to stare at your affliction shirt wearing bad self in the mirror while sitting on the toilet. So something to think about. But maybe clean the things before you go forward. The thought of the day real quick. If you want to work for it, it's that simple. But by work by it, you mean make a sex tape like the Kardashians, right? Oh my God, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's get you out of here. If you need a random joke for today, I just wanted to let you know that I might be deleting my mental health to focus on social media. Hope you'll be able to support me. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. You are banned from the local library. What would be the reason? If you need something for the water cooler, try this one. 70% of men say that they have this in their car all the time. What is it?